Hey everybody, Thomas Joseph here, and today we are tackling one of America's favorite things, and that is the avocado. Now, this is what you're looking for, a nice, beautiful, ripe avocado, and oftentimes when we're shopping for them in the grocery store, we end up with something like this, or even like this. Well, today I'm gonna share with you a little bit of information on avocados, how you should buy them, how you should store them, and a really simple recipe that you can use in the end. When it comes to avocados, a little bit of background, a little bit of history for you guys. There are three main geographical groups of avocados. There's the Mexican avocado, which is a semi-tropical highland avocado that is usually small in size and really high in fat. There's a Guatemalan lowland avocado, which is generally bigger in size and a little bit more fibrous and coarse in texture. And lastly, the Guatemalan highland, which is also subtropical group of avocados, which is somewhere in the middle. It has a nice smooth textured flesh, and what's really desirable about this group is that the seed or pit inside of the fruit, which if you guys didn't know, avocados are actually fruits, is much smaller in comparison to the overall fruit, which makes it desirable. So those are the three main groups, and today in the United States, most avocados are grown in Southern California, and probably the most common and popular is the Hass avocado. And the Hass avocado is of Guatemalan origin, but throughout time, avocados have gone through many stages of hybridization and have changed over time, with the most desirable characteristics coming to what we know today, and that is the Hass avocado. Now, avocados, a little fact for you guys, are picked from the tree and they don't actually ripen on the tree. So once they're picked, that's when they begin ripening. And so this is kind of what you would see on the tree, maybe a few days later. And sometimes you can find a nice green, firm, almost rock hard avocado at the grocery store. And you know what, guys? Don't shy away from this. This is actually a good thing for you to have in your house because you can use an avocado like this throughout the week. It's gonna take a few days to ripen on your countertop. You can even expedite the process by putting it into a bag or in close proximity to an ethylene emitting fruit, a banana or an apple, and it will ripen throughout the week. If you're looking for something immediately, if you want to have an avocado for dinner and you're shopping at 4 p.m., look for an avocado that is darker in color, like this version I have here, smooth skin, not too many wrinkles or kind of crevices in the skin, and you want it to be quite firm. You want it to kind of push in slightly when you apply a gentle pressure on the skin, but the firmness should be throughout. This really thin outer membrane, which you can see here of the avocado, should be just kind of soft enough to push in gently with your fingertip or your thumb, but really the interior of the avocado should be quite firm. So that's a little tip in buying an avocado if you want to eat it that day. However, if you want it for the week, buy something that's really firm and really bright green in color, and it will ripen over time. Now, if you see any avocados in your supermarket like this, you can actually see my finger, you guys. It's pushing into some air pockets here, and that's where the avocado on the inside, the flesh, is actually breaking down. Oxidation is taking place, the browning of the fruit, and you really want to avoid that because otherwise you're going to end up with something like this. So a few tips for you there. Now, when it comes to using your avocado at home, and say maybe you have a half of an avocado left over, which I don't know why anybody would, but if you do, you know, there's a lot of information out there about how you can store them for the long term in your refrigerator, but to be quite honest, there's not much you can do. Like apples, oxidation, as I had mentioned before, takes place and the fruit starts to brown. Now, oxidation is the process of oxygen in the air intermingling with the enzymes in the fruit and causing browning. Now, some people say you can use a little bit of acid, like lemon or lime juice. You can use plastic wrap or a resealable bag and taking out all of the air. But really, this browning is going to take place. So there's not much you really can do. unfortunately. So I would recommend that you buy avocados as you need them and that you use them up right away. So now, how to cut an avocado. I like to use a nice firm knife, so either a chef's knife or this is kind of a rigid carving knife, really works well here. And you're going to go around the perimeter of the avocado. I usually start at the narrow end, the top end, the stem end. Go around the avocado. You should be hitting the pit with the blade of the knife, and you're gonna go right around. Then you're gonna take the two halves and twist them in opposite ways. And you should end up with, if you picked your avocado correctly, a nice, beautiful green interior. Now, extricating the seed or the pit is really, I think, an intimidating part for a lot of people. But if you need to, you can put a towel underneath your hand, or you could actually do this right on your work surface, keeping your hand away. I usually just do it in my hand, and you're gonna take the end of the knife here, and you're going to gently, but firmly, which I don't know if that makes any sense, give the pit a good whack with a knife. And what you're trying to do here, guys, is you're trying to take the blade of the knife and you're trying to insert it into the pit just enough so that you can turn and extricate the pit. So this really kind of helps. Now, getting the pit off, you can use your thumb to kind of push it off into your whatever it is that you have. If you have a compost bin, and it should just easily pop off. Again, if you're nervous, you can tap the pit off of your knife on the side of a bowl or the edge of your sink. Now, a lot of people like to cut avocados in different ways. You can certainly, depending on what you're using it for, you can score the avocado like this with your knife. So either just creating nice thick slices, which then you could take out with a nice wide spoon, or you could do some crosshatch, so cutting in the opposite direction. And then you can extricate this with a spoon as well, and you have nice cubed avocado. Sometimes what I like to do if I want to get really nice slices or wedges, I'll actually take the avocado half and I'll cut it again in half, creating quarters, and this makes it easier to peel off the skin. Now, if you've chosen your avocado correctly, the skin should easily come off, again, because the outer edge of the flesh is nice and ripe. It's not too firm, so it shouldn't cling onto the peel of the avocado here. And from here, you can make some nice, beautiful slices. And this is gonna go right on top of our beautiful Bibb lettuce here for our salad. Now, one thing I didn't mention before, you guys, if you find that your avocados are ripening nicely on your countertop, but you're not gonna be eating them right away, you can take your avocados and put them into the refrigerator whole, uncut, and it might last a little bit longer. Colder temperatures kind of slow the process of ripening, but it's not going to be a, surefire fix. So there might be some browning that occurs. It will continue to ripen even in the cold temperatures. As I mentioned before, avocados are high in fat, but they're high in really good fats for you. Some avocados can be 30% fat, which is quite a lot. It's like a nice piece of well-marbled beef. But the good thing here is that the fat in the avocado is monounsaturated. So it's like olive oil in a way, where it's a good fat for you, but a fat nonetheless. So you want to be careful in terms of the amount of avocados that you consume, because they are by no means a low-fat food. And one other thing, you guys, I want to dispel this myth. Some people say that you can actually speed up the ripening of an avocado by putting it into a low oven. Well, I'm here to tell you that that doesn't really work. It actually just cooks the avocado, which isn't necessarily what you want. And extreme heats, even in a low oven, what that does is it causes a really nasty flavor to come out of the avocado. It's almost eggy in flavor, and it's also gonna break down the texture, so you're gonna end up with something that's mushy. So that whole idea of ripening avocados quickly in the oven, it doesn't really work. You're just cooking an avocado. So now the last part of my salad here that I'm composing is some citrus. Now I'm using grapefruit here, but you could also use orange. It's really fantastic. If you're up for it, maybe even a little bit of lemon. You really want some good acidity here to cut through the fattiness of the avocado. And a really great way to prepare grapefruit or any other citrus is in supreming them. And we did a video all about citrus, you guys, so look that up, but I'm gonna show you really quickly how to supreme some citrus. So I have a nice, beautiful grapefruit here, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna follow the membranes of the grapefruit, and you're gonna take away the segment. Now you could do that one of two ways. You can either cut along both sides of the membrane, and you should be able to get a nice, beautiful segment of grapefruit. Or you should be able to go down one side, and if your knife is sharp enough and thin enough, you can turn or pivot your knife and come up the other side. So there's kind of two ways to supreme citrus. So now don't throw away what's left here, you guys. There's a lot of juice in this, and this is really fantastic as a dressing for your salad, or you could use this over some fish. It's really, really great. And to punch up the acidity here, I'm gonna add a little bit of white wine vinegar. Now you don't have to do this. You could add another, punchier citrus like lemon, or you could omit it totally. A little bit of olive oil, kind of a really informal vinaigrette. There's no mustard or anything in here, which is gonna keep an emulsion, so this is gonna separate very easily. A little bit of freshly ground pepper. Now, scatter your beautiful supremes of citrus over this salad. Now this is good just as is. You could certainly serve this as a first course, or this is a really light lunch, but again, this would be really great with some fish, even shrimp, grilled shrimp, or even some chicken would be really fantastic with this salad. Mix together your vinaigrette here and just drizzle this on top of the salad. So you know what, guys? Eat up your avocados. With a recipe like this, I'm sure you will. Now, as always, if you have any kitchen conundrums, reach out to us using the hashtag Kitchen Conundrums. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, guys, enjoy. And as always, guys, click like and subscribe.